Hey, it's Michael Kosta. Hi, this is the Tennis Anyone podcast, Tuesday, June 24th. And I was just thinking, you know what? This Rode app on the phone for Rode microphones, it's been working pretty well. I think it's it's very intimidating, all this tech stuff. But there's a little trick that I do. And there's a place called B&H Video and Photo in Manhattan. It's run by all these super intense Orthodox Jewish people. Is that the right term? I just know that because I think they're closed Fridays. But let me tell you why they're excellent. They actually answer the phone. And there's actually people that can talk you through shit. So I've literally called them during COVID and would say, hey, and the nice thing about the Orthodox community is I don't even think that they believed in COVID. Or was that the Hasids? See? Mixing them up. Sorry, everybody. Christianity sucks too. I would call them and go, I need a thing, and I don't know anything about it. And they would go, what's your price point? Or they would go, let me tell you the best one. Let me tell you the worst one. So they helped. Well, actually, first they screwed up. First I screwed up. I bought a Shure microphone. Shure, that I had done my own research on and very clearly got tricked by fake reviews, right? God, my podcast has taken off since this, microphone. Then I called B&H. I didn't do my own advice, and they were like, do this one. This is the best one for the money. And then it comes with this app, and that's what we're watching on now. That's what you're watching now on YouTube, because I'm doing the YouTube too. So anyways, thank you, Rode, for making a nice app. What else is happening? Trump has bombed Iran. Then Iran, pseudo responded with some fake bombs that were real bombs, but they told us ahead of time. It just sounds like a shit show, doesn't it? All of the, and then Trump said a ceasefire. Congratulations, all parties, a ceasefire, which he had just bombed Iran. Can you imagine bombing someone and then being like, congratulations, we're all in this thing together? I am so scared that we're just at the whim of a man whose ego, he got shot. He lost an election. Now he's back, and this time it's his rules, and he's going to fuck up this country any way he wants to. He's going to get us involved in shit. Partially to troll us, the people that didn't vote for him, but also just he's just going to do shit his way. In some ways, I remember Obama's second term, it was like, now he's going to do what he really wants. And it's like, that seems pale in comparison now. But, any leader who wins, loses, and then comes back, coaches, tennis player, it's like the Andre Agassi effect, right? He's doing it the way he was told to, and then he dropped off, and now he's smoking meth, and then he comes back, and he's like, F it, I'm doing this shit my way. I want to lift weights with that trainer, pseudo/drug inventor, Gil. Remember that? It was cut to Andre's box, and there'd just be this guy who's 800 pounds. I was like, is anybody drug testing anybody? So yeah, I'm an American, born and raised in America. I have a passport. I love the world. I travel. I've been everywhere. I don't want to have my military be in Iran or the Middle East. I don't want it. I'm happy not instigating or engaging over there. I think you feel the same. I think Israel is careful, Costa. No, this is where it gets tricky, right? Are they our ally? Do we defend them? Have they gone too far? Yes, they have gone too far. It's so sad what's happened in Gaza. I mean, they can't even get fucking food. Is that good? Is that what? I mean, they started the attack on October 7th, Hamas. And then it's too much. Too much is what's happening. And now American troops are being sent in to bomb Iran? What? I remember in chemistry class in 6th grade. I think, we dissected frogs. We did a couple cool beaker experiments. I went to a grade school in Ann Arbor that was not a public school. It was a private school, well-funded. They had money for stuff. And I remember they would say, like, okay, so this and this, you don't want to mix these, or we're all going to mix these together, or teacher's going to mix these and then you're going to watch. But never would they just say, hey, Michael, you go over there and mix those. No, they would say, do not mix these because you don't know what's going to happen. Or now we're going to be involved in something that we don't want to be involved in, like cleaning up or a fire or somebody gets injured or hurt. That's what I feel like the Middle East is for the United States. And I'm the teacher, and I'm saying to Trump, don't go over there. Don't mix those things. We don't know what happens exactly. There's so much at stake, and there's so much context that we don't know. And you certainly know that Donald Trump isn't reading the briefings. I mean, when I came back from the writer's strike to host The Daily Show, October 7th had just happened. And I was like, shit, we can't ignore it just because I don't know about it, but I need to know more about it. And you start digging into the history there. I mean, thousands of years and battles and slights and relocations and wars and funding removed. I can't even begin to comprehend. And I honestly probably believe that I understand it more than Donald Trump, or at least Donald Trump has access to understanding it more, but he's not reading the briefings. Tulsi Gabbard had to hire a Fox News producer to make the briefings into like a video so it was more interesting for him. I don't want the president of the United States to be mixing the Middle East together for our own little scientific experiment that then we're all going to pay for and feel the ramifications of. Literally, we're bombing Iran the old-fashioned way. We're dropping bunker bombs with our stealth bombers. The Ukraine, sorry, someone yelled at me once about that. Ukraine, not the Ukraine. You wouldn't say the Spain. See? I do read your DMs. Ukraine just like parked some secret truck in an airport, and then someone unfurled the canvas top and 50 little tiny drones came out and bombed all the airplanes. You think Iran's going to attack us like the classic way? You think they're going to line up in formation and mark with their muskets? No. It's going to be some fucked up shit that's going to affect all of us. I don't want to be over there. I have extreme empathy for that region. I don't understand it. I, as a global citizen, want to know more, but I just feel much like America invading Afghanistan in response to 9/11. It's like Russia was just there for 14 years. And it's strange that the America First president, make America great again, America first, America, made in America, tear off all the other countries, is flying halfway around the world to bomb Iran. Right? So anyways, I hope the United States, I hope Donald Trump just listens to the science teacher who tells him, don't go mix those chemicals. Don't mix the beakers. Those beakers have been sitting there for thousands of years. We don't entirely understand what makes them fizz and pop and pour smoothly because we see those beakers with our own ethnocentric, Judeo-Christian, white, patriarchal eyes. So we don't understand them. So just leave it. Just leave it. Or if you're worried about those beakers of substance, maybe focus on strengthening our part of the science classroom. So if something terrible does happen, we can respond efficiently. But that isn't exciting for him, is it? It's like, with the CIA and all this shit. It's like no American wakes up and calls their congressperson and says, thank you for there not being a terrorist attack today. Hey, thank you for doing such a good job that we don't even know what it is you do. Because I can just live in New York City and go to my daughter's piano recital, and there's somebody at the park switches the water thing on and it shoots cool water up in the air because it's so hot today, and we just get to live our lives and be happy. We don't even understand it. By the way, you want to talk about big city living in the heat? Juneteenth, which is such a fascinating thing also. And I've talked about Juneteenth a lot on this Tennis Anyone podcast. And this is probably the reason that traditional tennis networks are like, what is this podcast, Kosta? I mean, I don't know about you. I get tired of listening to the traditional tennis podcast just talk about results. Great. There's so much fucking tennis. I can't keep talking. Okay, great. Carlos Alcaraz won another tournament this week on grass. Let's analyze his forehand grip or whatever. It was so hot on June. By the way, Juneteenth was that slavery had ended. 2.5 years later, there were slaves in Texas that hadn't been communicated that because their owners didn't share it with them because it served them. That's how slow information used to travel. And now I'm canceled from something I said in this podcast earlier about the Middle East. I haven't even uploaded it yet. We went to this part in Brooklyn that just shoots water all over the place for kids. It's like concrete. It's the kind of thing that when you live in the suburbs or don't live in a big city, you would see that and go, like, what is wrong with you people? Why are you standing on hot asphalt while a city employee opened up a hose? You know, there's places called really nice public pools or beaches. It's, and it is ridiculous. It's the kind of thing that when you live in New York and you get so accustomed to life here and the glasses that you wear and the imagery that you see here, you're just like, oh, this cool water is really nice for the kids. And then you get out and you go to Michigan or you fly somewhere else and you see how the kids are enjoying their summer because 90% of the tax dollars don't go to, what do they go to here in New York? I don't know. They don't go to opening up the 50 umbrellas at the hot asphalt place. So all the parents who have their kids on Juneteenth don't know what to do because basically all the companies still run. Unless you work for a government agency, like you're still working Juneteenth. So everybody's just trying to figure out a place, something to do with their kids. But basically it's the kind of thing where you got to take your kids somewhere so then you can check your phone and do work. Meanwhile, there's other parts of the country that don't even have Juneteenth on the calendar. An hour away from New York City. So we all go to this hot asphalt parking lot that shoots water up. There's 40 umbrellas at these picnic tables. That's nice. Nobody can open the umbrellas. The umbrellas are locked. And because it's a national holiday, no one at the city is working there. Adults, parents, people who work for Google, billion-dollar industries who have their kids. My point is smart people are trying to rig these umbrellas to be open. Everyone goes, oh, the cafe has the key. Well, where's the cafe? The cafe is closed. Why is the cafe closed? This could be their biggest year. This is New York City. The city that never sleeps, always sleeps. By the way, the city sleeps now. I mean, COVID, we all sleep. I haven't done a stand-up comedy show past 10:30 on the road since COVID. The late show now is like 9:30. COVID really fucked us up, and we still have traumatic stress injury, not disorder, injury. Think about that. You don't have a traumatic disorder. You have an injury. Something happened to you that is injured your emotional well-being or your mental well-being, and you're still carrying that with you. That injury needs to heal. I'm sure there is truly a medical difference between injury and disorder, but I like injury. I like thinking about I had an emotional injury, or I came back from war and I experienced a mental injury, and I now need to heal myself, as opposed to I have a disorder. That's not fair, in my opinion. So anyways, just wonderful times here in the city, in New York City. The mayoral race is happening right now. You know what? While I'm bitching about New York, let me keep going. I got a few other things. So for those of you watching on YouTube, I just kicked my tripod again. So you can't open the umbrellas. They're these beautiful, expensive umbrellas. No one knows how to open them. I'm the only one that's like bitching about it to all the parents. They're just kind of shrugging their shoulders. And I'm like, wait, no, look at your tax bill. Why is not an umbrella open? I'm a boomer now. More New York hustle stories. I need a haircut. Look at this. Look at this thing. The two guys I go to who are great, typically, are out of town or they're busy or whatever. I can't get an appointment. All good. Good for them. So I go to a new place that a friend tells me, and I make an appointment. He gives me the name. I make an appointment. I just went there. I was going to have a fresh cut for this pod. I just went there. I walk in. I say, hey, I have an appointment with this guy. They go, oh, we moved you over to this guy. And I go, and they're pointing to him. And the guy's standing right there like waving to me with the apron and the scissors. And I go, well, I had an appointment with the original guy. Well, yeah, he's not cutting today, so we moved you with this guy. And they're pointing, and they're kind of like body language shuffling me over to him. And 5 years ago, Costa would have sat down, gotten a shitty haircut, and been like, that's the way that it is. But now I said, no, I made an appointment with this guy because he was recommended to me. Also, your boy's on TV. Okay. I got to look good. Which many of you have seen your boy on TV with a bad haircut. So, and I was just thinking I canceled the appointment with the guy that I never made the appointment with. And why could you make an appointment with a guy who doesn't exist? I honestly think it's all just like everyone knows that guy's good at cutting hair, so we'll just make the appointments even though he left because we don't pay him enough. And now we'll shuffle him over to the shitty guy who's the new guy. So as a Michigander, all of these little things feel personal to me because you don't experience them in Michigan. Now, maybe you do experience them in Michigan, but I don't remember experiencing them in Michigan 30 years ago as a kid. And one of the things that I have to grapple with is maybe my memory is not accurate because our memories are not always accurate, as I talk a lot about in Lucky Loser, book plug right there, boom. And we don't remember always the time at the park that the umbrella wasn't open. We remember the super emotional, intense, fun times or super intense, negative times. And the umbrella not being open is not super negative or as intense, even though the way I'm talking about it makes me feel like I'm going to remember this shit for a long time. I just don't remember the aggressive push and hustle that New York has. And so instead of calling me, the customer, and saying the person who you made the appointment with is not cutting hair anymore, the person is not cutting hair anymore here, they just say, let him come. Let him hire the dog walker that he's gonna while he's gone because his dog can't get a walk, Walter. So now it's money out of my pocket. Let him get on the bike. Let him get here. Let him check in. Now he's vested time, energy, and dog walking money. And then we'll shuffle him over to the new guy who's holding scissors in the wrong hand with the wrong direction. I'm not having it. The other thing happened, the other one, and then I'll stop bitching about New York. The other one was I'm trying to buy a gravel bike. I want to do some gravel biking this summer. And I need an XL bike. I'm 6'4". I'm tall. And for those of you that don't know, there are different sizes of bikes. Okay? Very important. I didn't know that till 5 years ago. All these stores, they don't carry XL bikes. They can order it for you, but they carry mediums mostly and larges. And they all do the same thing where I go to the bike shop and they go, oh, the large will work. Oh, the large will work. And then you really dig into it and you talk to people who ride bikes and the large won't work, you guys. It's an XL thing. But what they don't, I mean, they already bought the large, so they want to they want to push it off. Now, I will say that happens everywhere. Used car salesmen, used bike people, not used bike, just bike people. You know, they're pushing the product on you. And that, I would say, is a complaint on capitalism. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1071 Podcast. 20 minutes of bitching about New York. Well, some of you can connect with that. And some of you that don't live in New York or L.A. or big cities, you should appreciate that the umbrellas at your park are open. Although, maybe they're not. Maybe the whole country's services like that have sucked since COVID. And if they have, let me know. So we have the mayoral race right now. I don't want to see Andrew Cuomo as mayor. I don't even know he lives here. Doesn't he live in Long Island? I don't like Andrew Cuomo. I enjoyed his press conferences during COVID. And then it became very clear very fast that this guy's an egomaniac. I thought it was super shitty when he released his book in the middle of COVID just because his press conferences had been successful. The nursing home death cover-up, terrible. Sexual harassment shit, terrible. 12 women have come forward. I do think it's a commentary, though. The black community seems to be supporting Andrew Cuomo, and the elder community seems to be supporting Andrew Cuomo. And I would say that the Me Too backlash is organized and strong. There are people that are really annoyed with what happened with Me Too and how long or how intense and aggressive they feel that it went. What's tricky about Andrew Cuomo and the sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, is that he's such a good politicker, it's hard not to think it was also political. Also, I don't know about you, but I naturally just go, oh, he's an old guy. He probably just said she had nice cans or something. And that doesn't seem serious enough to me. I'm not a woman with breasts. I don't know what that would feel like to hear that. And also, do we want our elected officials to say things like that? A thing I just made up? I am not educated enough to speak on this topic. I have not read the women's testimonies. Is it Mom Dani? Mom Dani, mayor race, right? Mom Dani. I want to say it right because Cuomo's been saying it wrong on purpose. Duh. One of his opponents did a press conference with some of his victims, Andrew Cuomo's, and I thought that was powerful too, and shows that he supports them and believes them and stands with them. I don't want Andrew Cuomo as my mayor, and I believe that it's strange he wants to be mayor of New York. Give it up. You're done. People feel very strongly about him, by the way. And then I tend to think that people feel like wrong was done to Andrew Cuomo. And so now they're siding with the guy that they feel was slighted. And I tend to it is possible for me to lean there to say that maybe we overreacted on Andrew Cuomo. So let's say maybe I'm a tiny bit there. But I also don't want him to be the mayor. I think he was too politically aggressive, too self-promoting, to win at all costs. He feels sleazy to me, sleazebaggy. Bill Clinton endorsed him. Is that good or bad? That's a guy who got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Yeah, it's probably I want a former president's endorsement, but also a former president that publicly got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Didn't he say that depends on what your definition of is? Let me try to find that. YouTube. Bill Clinton is. President Clinton's semantic dance around the meaning of the word is. Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
No sex of any kind, in any manner, shape, or form with President Clinton was an utterly false statement. Is that correct?
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes.
Well, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. I didn't hear the question, so let me hear it again.
Statement that there was no sex of any kind, in any
There was no sex at any time
manner, shape, or form with President Clinton
in President Clinton's.
was an utterly false statement.
Was an utterly false statement. I don't entirely. Maybe there's a transcript. Where is the transcript? Do they do that now? There used to be a way to see transcript. Transcript. Show transcript. Was an utterly false statement. Is that correct? It depends upon what the meaning of the word is. I mean,
Was an utterly false statement. Is that correct?
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes.
that is so ballsy. By the way, this is a guy who I was with last week. Bill Clinton was on the show, and I was on the show, and I got a chance to chat with him briefly. He's moving slow. I don't think he would be able to do the mental acrobatics of that depends on what your definition of is at this point. But, yeah, pretty wild, this whole thing that's going on. I'll tell you another thing. Mamdani, much love, respect, doing great. Democratic socialist, born in, where was he born? His name is Zohan Mamdani. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Zohran. I'm Zohran Mamdani. Sorry, I don't want to say his name wrong. He was born in Uganda. Democratic socialist. Free buses and free childcare. That's what he's running on. So think about the differences here. White male, established, patriarchal, sexual harassy, old-timey, political, win-at-all-costs white dude versus a Ugandan-born democratic socialist who is 33 years old. Wild, right? I tell you what, I don't want either. I don't want free buses. I know what the subways look like when it's $3. Childcare, though, I just feel like if someone just really crushes childcare, you're going to win. I mean, not everybody has kids, but how do you make the city affordable? Jesus Christ. I don't know. It feels like we have two extremes here. The youth vote is going to be very important. The old vote is going to be very important. And keep in mind, New York City does ranked choice voting. So what's very cool to see, and I hope the federal government could figure this out, is they're forming alliances with each other. So like Mamdani would form an alliance or would endorse another candidate. Isn't that crazy? So two less popular candidates will endorse each other. So they'll say, look, vote for me first, but vote for him second, or vote for her second, because that's how they'll help with the points. And in a way, it's a much more civil, fair, less extreme way to conduct an election. I can't believe this actually has happened in our lifetime. I did a field piece on it last mayoral race. Michael Kosta, rank choice voting. Was it good? Who's running the New York City mayoral race? Michael Kosta digs into it. I don't remember it, so it can't be that good. But yeah, I mean, I think this does send a good message about how politics needs to get done, is you have to work with this person. It kind of reminds me of initially in the United States government, the presidential candidate who placed second became the vice president. So you would have Donald Trump would be the president and Donald Trump would be the president and Kamala Harris would be the vice president. Can you even fucking imagine that? Now, I think like Thomas Jefferson got rid of that real fast. But think about how much different this country would be if the person who placed second in the presidential election was also the vice president. I mean, you know, it would change a lot of things. It might not be as divided. Or maybe they would just kill him or something. All right. This is an excellent book. I finished reading it. Connor Nyland, The Racket. I'm going to hopefully get him on the show to talk about it. So many similarities. His story, my story. He got much higher ranked than me. Played Wimbledon, played the U.S. Open. Great recap of playing Mannarino at Wimbledon. 5-set loss. Got food poisoning before losing to Novak Djokovic at the U.S. Open. Not similarities in the sense of the tournaments we played, but similarities in bad traffic or stringing your own rackets or getting sick. Just so many observations and discussions about life on the road as a not famous, not wealthy tennis player. Now he got much, much further than me, and just a great writer, really fun to read. Didn't have to put his face on the cover, which also shows class, even though I saw in his hardcover, in his soft cover coming up, he does put his face, which is kind of funny, right? I always felt like if I'm going to write a book, I want people who know me to know what my face is. Also, your boy gets mentioned here. Check this out. Is it 63? A lot of you told me this when the book came out, and I didn't pay attention until I read it. I was irked, but then made a mockery of my own irritation by playing terribly, losing in straight sets to a guy called Michael Kosta, who is now a successful comedian on American TV. So Connor, if you're listening, I'll reach out to you, but would love to have you on the pod, talk about the book, talk about the writing experience, talk about what you're doing now. Loved this book. Highly recommend it. And also, you know, what I love about memoir, it's just raw and honest and vulnerable. He shares some great stories with his family and his parents and losing his father, which was very touching and sad. But that's what I love about memoir. It's so open, you know, it's so all memoir. Someone commented on a memoir recently that said, like, I just support all memoirs. And I'm like, yeah, because they're just open and honest and raw. And fiction is great, and fiction sells. And you know, fiction can be open and raw and vulnerable also, but the names are made up. Whereas in memoir, tough to hide behind that shit. Okay, what else? Results. Carlos Alcaraz wins ATP 500 London, Great Britain. He beat Lehechka 6-2 in the third, a 2-hour match. Bublik. Wow. Bublik's having a hell of a time. ATP 500. He beat Medvedev 3-6 in the final. This fucking guy, huh? Bublik? He had a decent French also. He beat Khachanov in the semis. I watched part of that match. I think he's going to beat Khachanov. And then to beat Medvedev on grass? Come on. So that's nice to see Andre Bub. What's his ranking right now? He's ranked 30. Still won $10 million career prize money. This is by far his best year. $1.5 million so far this year from Kazakhstan. He's a trip. Do I follow him? Let's make sure. Following, of course. 1.2 million followers. I love that. Love when it's like a guy that nobody really knows here, and then you realize, like, oh, he's a world star. World star. Women's Lexus Nottingham Open won by Kessler, the American, 4-5. She's now 32. How do I know her? 5'9". McCartney Kessler. Did she play college? I'm supposed to know this. Matches, stats, record overview, stories, biography, coached by McCain Kessler, right-handed. There's nothing on her. Born in 99. That's big. McCartney Kessler. Some of you are listening right now going, how do you not know this, Costa? Let's do wiki. Does she even have a wiki? Career high 42, early life from Calhoun, Georgia. Her parents, Carl and Julie Kessler, played collegiate tennis at the University of Central Florida. She has an older sister, Mackenzie, who played club tennis at University of Central Florida. An older brother, McCain, who played at Florida. That's also her coach. Kessler signed University of Florida on a tennis scholarship to play collegiate tennis at Florida's three. Yeah, she played at Florida. Everybody played at Florida. Florida. Good job. Nice job. Good job to you. And then on the women's side, this was a 500, I think. The one Kessler one was a 250. Vondrousova won against Wang, 7-6, 4-6, 6-2. So it's all happening, folks. Trump, get out of Iran. Stop messing with the beakers. New York City, always there to get you. Andrew Cuomo, douche. Ranked choice voting, good. I don't want free buses. I read that 500 people in New York City die from the heat a year. Or heat related. I feel like, I know it's hot, but I feel, and I got AC blasting right now. I feel like we should have 0 deaths over heat. So that's something I should think about. Very privileged of me to think we shouldn't have heat deaths, but also we shouldn't have heat deaths. We call this the greatest city in the world, and we have 500 people who die from the heat. Costa's down on New York right now. Thanks for listening to Tennis Anywhere podcast. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for leaving comments on YouTube. Please buy my book, Lucky Loser. See you in San Antonio and Dallas first weekend in August. Game, set, match. Costa.